What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another video. Today, we've got the top 5 running back Flyers 2018 fantasy football season. Super pumped to make this video because it was a really good one last season. Crushed it on 2 of the picks, so let's try and keep that rolling. That's a really good hit rate to crush it on a video. Let's keep it rolling. And let's start this video with the stat of the day. Yesterday, in case you didn't see it or you want to know the answer, which 2 edge rushers on the same team were ranked inside the top 10 by Pro Football Focus? The answer was Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram of the Chargers. Anish Prasanna gets on the board with the correct answer. Let's see about today. Now, this one's going to be a little bit more difficult, but you guys got all weekend. You guys got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to give me an answer. It's 2 again. I like doing this 2 thing. This is teams, though. Which 2 teams? You gotta give me both the teams. So which team was ranked first for special teams and which team was ranked last for special teams? You have to give me both, and don't give me multiple guesses. You don't count if you give me multiple guesses, and if you name one of the teams, well, sorry, you didn't name both. On to the top 5 list. Top 5 running back Flyers. And before we start it, I want to define Flyers. Now, what I'm talking about with this whole list, this is not a sleeper list. If you see a video where someone posts Flyers and it's 10th, 11th round picks, that's not accurate. That's not what the definition of Flyer is for me. Remember the video we posted this week about when to reach and what players are reaching for? What we're looking for late are players that have upside. Players that just have raw upside. I'm not looking to draft someone who, even with injuries, even if they have a great season, can't be a workhorse, can't be a guy that wins a championship. When I'm drafting, you get 2. You get probably 2 running back Flyers late in drafts. Maybe 1 depending on when you draft early or when you draft your quarterback, as in when you draft all your running backs early. But ideally, you're taking 2 shots late. These are guys I want on my team that I could cut immediately come week 3. They're not doing anything. I need someone on waivers. These are guys I can cut. I have no attachment to, but have huge upside. And to be on this list, you have to be undrafted. Every single one of these top 5 players is undrafted. That's why I love this video. Love this video because these are players that I get to talk about that we never get to talk about and that I hear no one talking about. You hear these guys' name come up here and there, but no one's talking about these guys. So these guys are league winners, and they just need a few things to go their way. That's who you're taking late. So I'm going to start it off with probably my least favorite on the list, just because it's the least likely I'm going to draft, Chase Edmunds. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have a ton of upside, because he probably has just as much, if not more upside than anyone else on this list. If David Johnson goes down, like he did last season, Chase Edmunds wins leagues. He's competing with Elijah Penny and TJ Logan. In other words, he's not competing for the backup role. He's got it on lockdown. 4th round draft capital. If DJ goes down, this guy steps in to a 3-down workhorse role. It's a handcuff. Yeah, if you have David Johnson and you just have the burning need to draft a handcuff, you draft this guy because he's a clear-cut handcuff. I don't draft handcuffs. I draft other people's handcuffs because I think it limits your team's ceiling. But Chase Edmunds, just massive upside. Featured role. If David Johnson goes out, he was an excellent receiving back in college. This is what we're looking for. This guy is good. He produced in college. He's easily going to beat out the guys behind him. Just needs an injury. Now, I say he's the least on this list because he has a 0% chance of doing anything unless David Johnson gets hurt. So what you're doing with this pick is you're saying, okay, I can get by with the rest of my team till like week 4. I'm not going to need this pick, so I'm just going to take a 4-week, hey, does David Johnson get hurt? That's all this pick is. But if it happens, it's a lot of upside. Next guy is Rod Smith, and I think he can give you a small amount of value, even if Zeke doesn't get hurt, but he's very similar. The difference is Zeke, and in that offense, that number 1 running back is going to be fed the football. Zeke could push 400 carries, which we don't call people injury prone. It's just people play football which is an injury-prone sport. And you see guys that don't have a ton of volume get hurt more because they're playing less football. That just intuitively has to make sense, right? If Zeke has 400 carries, he has a higher chance of getting hurt on one of those carries than someone who's getting 100 carries. That's just how it works. It's not that people are injury prone, it's that they're getting the ball a ton, so they're getting more opportunities to get hurt. But he is the quintessential last round pick. He's an RB1 if Zeke gets hurt. So what do? You draft a team that has perfectly good players you can start, and then you draft Rod Smith and Chase Edmunds, and you just bank on an injury. Now, we're not rooting for injuries, but injuries happen every year, and this is how you win leagues. Cowboys love Rod Smith. I'm not concerned with Tavon Austin. Tavon Austin is going to get carries out of the backfield for sure. He's going to get screen passes. They're going to hit him deep, but he's more of a gadget player, and if Zeke goes down, like Tavon Austin doesn't shift into the running back role. He's going to get carries, but he's not a major concern to Rod Smith. I don't think Bo Scarborough is a major concern. I think that Smith is better. I think he's been on the team longer. I think that the team likes Smith more. So I do not think Scarborough, and it's not like Scarborough is all that good anyways. And then Morris isn't a concern, at least right now. He's still a free agent. If they were to sign Alfred Morris, this would take a huge hit to Rod Smith and would probably bump him off this list. I don't see it happening, given that they brought in Tavon Austin, they drafted Bo Scarborough, they kept Rod Smith. I don't think that they're going to also have Alfred Morris. So that would obviously be a contingency, but I don't think it happens. Smith was extremely efficient last season, and again, they're going to feed Zeke. We have Zeke ranked second in standard and I believe fourth overall in PPR scoring. That because he's going to get the ball, carries potentially 400 times. That's where the offense is designed. So if that role is taken away, they don't just change the offense. No, they're just going to feed Rod Smith now. So immense upside, league-winning upside if Zeke goes down. The third guy is Cory Grant. And you guys have heard me say a million times, the Jaguars win that playoff game against the Patriots if they feature Cory Grant and TJ Yeldon. Absolutely. There is not a doubt in my mind that I'm a Patriots fan. Not a doubt in my mind they feature Cory Grant and Yeldon in that game, and they beat the Patriots handily. But instead, they handed the ball off to a hyper-inefficient Leonard Fournette, and he lost them the game. That's just how it worked. He lost them the game. Their play calling lost them the game, and Leonard Fournette lost them the game. I'm not saying Cory Grant's better than Leonard Fournette, but their offense would be better if they didn't have Leonard Fournette on it. Is that going to happen? No. They're going to keep feeding him because NFL franchises don't get it. But Cory Grant's amazing. And if something happens to Leonard, which has happened every year in his career, this guy's got upside. No Ivory now. 100th percentile speed score. 95th percentile height-adjusted speed score. 96th percentile SparkX score. He was number one in production premium had he qualified, and it wasn't even close. When they give this guy the ball, he produces. Every time they give him the ball, he produces. Watch this kid play. He hasn't gotten enough opportunity over his career. Watch him play. He is electric when he gets the ball. They signed him to a $3 million contract, 1-year contract this offseason, which is not a small amount of money to give what some people are calling the third running back. You don't give the third running back a 1-year, $3 million contract. You don't do that. Running backs are cheap in the NFL. They're going to use him. Teams lie all the time, but not with paychecks and not with draft capital. When they pay someone that amount of money, he's not going to get 10 carries over the season. He's going to get the ball, and if Fournette goes down, this guy again, like everyone on this list, has league-winning upside. Fourth, Chris Carson. One of my favorite picks. I think I drafted him. I was in 10 leagues last year. Going to have to cut that down way more this season, but Chris Carson was on 8 of my teams. 8 of my teams. I love Chris Carson. The Seahawks love Chris Carson. The issue is they drafted Penny, and I know that. It's Penny's job You get a first-round pick as a running back, you're giving him the ball. You're giving your first-round pick the ball. But Pete Carroll loves Chris Carson. He can't stop talking about Chris Carson. So if something were to happen to Penny, this dude goes off. In a Russell Wilson offense that is going to be down, this guy can cut all 7 of his catchable targets. He had 21 evaded tackles on his first 26 carries. Think about that for a second. That is not even close to who would have gotten second. Now, it doesn't count because he didn't have enough carries because he got hurt in like week 4 or week 5. 21 evaded tackles on his first 26 carries. 25th in PFF run grade, 20th in elusiveness rating. This dude's good. We knew he was good. Then we saw him be good. And then for some reason they drafted a running back in the first round who probably didn't even deserve to go in the first round. So that pick made no sense. But we have to realize that the pick was there, and that's why he's going undrafted. But he's going undrafted. He's going undrafted, guys. He shouldn't be. People should be taking shots on running backs with upside. You can hear me say it 5 times, and here's the 4th time. Penny goes down. You just drafted Chris Carson in the 14th round, who's now the lead back with Russell Wilson, who's going to get receptions, he's going to get goal line, he's going to get everything. You just took a major step in winning your league in the 14th round. A round that, let's be honest, you have like a 1 in 5 chance of hitting on a top 31 option. Well, don't take a shot on a guy who's got a 1 in 5 chance of being, 25 to 30. No, take a shot on Chris Carson, who actually has a chance if things break his way. But now we move on to 5. And 5 is probably my favorite on this list because I have heard exactly 0 people mentioning his name, and it's Elijah McGuire. Now, you're going to sit here and say, no. They have too many guys. They got Crowell. They got Powell. They got Rawls. They have no room for McGuire. False. McGuire is an excellent late round pick. Powell has been underwhelming. He really just has over his career. Every single year, we sit here and we say, it's going to be Powell this year. It's going to be Powell. And he has stretches of like 3 games where he's decent. But that's from a fantasy perspective. In real life football, he's been underwhelming. He's an underwhelming athlete. And guess what the Jets saved by cutting him? $4 million. Guess who's getting cut? I'm pretty sure they're going to cut Bilal Powell to save $4 million. Absolutely. What's he providing them? This team's going to stink regardless of if they have him or not. Why not save $4 million and play your younger player? Or play the guy that you just gave $6 million guaranteed to. They're not going to pay $6 million to Crowell and $4 million to Powell. They'd be crazy. So they're going to use Crowell. Crowell's going to be the lead back, but McGuire's going to be the 3rd down back. That's going to happen. 93rd college target market share. He had a good receiving grade last season. He was a good receiver last season. And guess what the Jets are going to be a lot this year? They're going to be down a lot. Like every game. They're not a good team. They're not going to score a ton. But you know what? I know his touchdowns aren't going to be there. But he's going to have receptions. This is a guy who you're going to actually potentially be able to play even with Crowell on the field. Think of this guy basically as Duke Johnson. Just think of it as Duke Johnson. People are drafting Duke, and now I'm not, but people are drafting Duke in what? I don't actually know. Maybe like the 8th round or something? I don't know. I don't draft Duke Johnson. I don't think that's a good pick at all. But people are drafting him, and no one's going to touch McGuire, who's going to be on a team that's losing just as many games. He's just as good as a pass catcher. But McGuire actually has a theoretical chance of being a 3-down workhorse. We know that Rawls is one of, if not the, worst running back in the NFL. Rawls is completely horrible. So they're not going to give the ball to Rawls. I've already told you, I'm pretty sure Powell's going to get cut. If not, then I have no faith in that franchise. So it's going to be Crowell on 1st and 2nd down. It's going to be McGuire on 3rd down, eating into some 1st and 2nd down work. And if something were to happen to Crowell, league-winning upside. If you look at advanced metrics on this guy, playerprofiler.com advanced metric second in yards created per carry among running backs with at least 35 carries. He was good on the ground, but it was a terrible run blocking offensive line. But he was good on the ground and good through the air. Run through this list. What do I say over and over and over again? They just need something to happen, and they have league-winning upside. So if you guys send me a mock draft, you post a mock draft in the comments section, and your late picks are guys that are like scat backs that if everything goes right, everyone gets hurt before them, they're still not going to have the role. Their role is basically going to stay the same. Then why are you making that pick? I want guys who can break out. I want guys who have a ton of upside. Edmunds has that. Rod Smith has that. Cory Grant has that. Chris Carson has that. And Elijah McGuire absolutely has that. These guys can take early down work, and they're good in the receiving game. Not all of them are spectacular athletes. I will admit that. Some of these guys are not spectacular athletes. But when there's no one behind you, sometimes the upside is just too much. So that is it. That is the end. The top 5 Flyers. I believe soon we're doing a top 5 wide receiver Flyers, but it is coming. If it's not next week, it's coming in the future. But that's the end of this one. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, how about we hit that like button? How about we subscribe if you're new? Thanks for watching.